Hey Stampers, it's Gail Davenport and it's time for Stamping Fun with Gail. Today this is the card that we're going to be making. And I apologize for not knowing where, I can't remember what stamp set the hello there was from, but so this is going to be it. And I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, we're going to use Grassy Grove bundle, the stamp set, and the die cut. Then we're also going to use for the hello, but we're not going to use the U, from the Shaded Summer stamp set. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, you're going to need a piece of old olive, which is going to measure 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you're going to need a piece of basic white, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and that will go on the inside. You're going to need a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 of Crumb Cake to be on the layering of your front. And then you're going to need, excuse me, a piece that is 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. And that's going to go right here, and I'll explain what the yellow is in a minute. And then this is a 3 by 5, and this is your Grassy Grove. And you'll have a scrap that comes out right here, and it's perfect for stamping a deer. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I have one done, but I wanted to show you a little bit of how I did it. So this is going to be my layer. So what I did is I tried to figure out exactly where I needed the sunshine, and then I just did a cross there. So because it's, you know, kind of like a dusk thing, I guess. So I'm going to get some of this out of the way for right now, just so I don't get ink on it. And I showed you how I did the Daffodil Delight, and I did use a sponge dauber for that. Then I went to my Crumb Cake, and I sponged in my trees. And you don't have to be super, super careful because, you know, sometimes you get a little bit of moss on your tree trunks and you get some brown in your leaves. So it's really not that bad of a project. It's quite forgiving. So that's kind of how I did that. It wasn't really too time consuming. So I'll put this one aside. Then I used old olive. And you can do this blenders brushes, but in this particular case, when I wanted more accuracy, I felt that the daubers were best. I think there's different things for different uses, all depending upon what you're doing. And I just started going around it for my leaves. Nothing big or exciting, but it, like I said, it really comes together easy. It just looks like you put a lot of time in it. And that's what I love about Stampin' Up. They can make simple so beautiful, so easy. Okay, then I felt it needed a little bit of depth, so I went to Garden Green. And I put some of that in. I did sponge off just a little bit. And I kind of did like the underneath leaves where, you know, the sun isn't going to be quite as bright. And I forgot to stamp that one off. Oh well, everyone is different, right? So, and I really didn't do too much in the tops. I just basically wanted to get in here and see you do have a little bit of moss and green, and to me that's okay. It just looks like it's moss growing on the tree. Okay, so after I did that, then I went ahead and I started adhering. Now I already told you how I did the yellow, and it is just a little bit, but I just took the sponge dauber a few times and went across it. And so it's going to look like that when we're done. So we'll go ahead and put some adhesive on it. Missed that side completely. Okay, this is where I hope my head doesn't get in the way. Okay, and I'm going to adhere this to the crumb cake. Okay, and then this goes on to the front of the card. And we're just doing a hello because this could be a man's card, or just, you know, out in the woods, relaxed feeling for a friend or somebody who's sick or somebody you're just thinking about. I just didn't know for sure how I wanted to use this card, but you always can say hello. And so I figured I'll take it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the hello on the inside. And I'm going to teach you a trick about putting this in your corners. My friend Dee showed me this years ago, and I always meant to tell you and I always forget. Right here you have your little corners, and so you're going to pretend this is a miter block. And you're going to take your corners and you're going to make sure that they are angled right there. And if these top two are angled correctly, the whole rest of the card comes out even. So now this is, I went ahead and stamped this in the scrap piece that was right here in Crumb Cake, and I've been trying to decide, do I want it like this or do I want it standing out? And I think I want it standing out. The other one I didn't, so this will be a good comparison. We'll put a little mini one on his head and one more big one because we want him to stand out and not look lopsided. There you go. I just thought it was so pretty. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and don't forget to tap the little bell. If I can help you in any way, my online store is gaildavenport.stampinup.net. I will have all the measurements and everything in the description below. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.